So you can see Dungeon Universalis is on my table. It has been on my table for the past 2 weeks. I wouldn't say I've been playing it for 2 weeks because almost 1 week of that was organizing it, setting it up, and learning it, and then playing a couple of learning games. But the thing is, I am not done with this. I am not ready to review. I am not ready to record. I am not ready to stop playing, so I'm moving it out to my other game table in the front room. But this is where I do my filming, so I need to get it uh, out there where I can just keep playing it. It's um, it's really something special, guys, and I have heard people describe it as that before. I think Rob from Rob's Tabletop World said it's something special, and I'm going to tell you what. Yeah, it is. I'm going to do a review here before too long. So but what we're here for today is an unboxing of Primal the Awakening. Here we have Primal beside Dark Souls, two big mini boss battling games. And now I knew that Dark Souls was going to be shorter. I think that Monster Hunter, I think because of the big shape of those monstrous minis, is closer to being a cube. So I think maybe it's almost as tall as Primal. I'm not sure, but I believe it's taller than Dark Souls. Now, when I got Primal and opened the box, what I found surprised me because I thought that due to the size of the box that it had the stretch goals, that it had the extra expansion that added in the extra heroes, which is what I heard from various of the Kickstarter preview people, was what really added more value to the game, was the playable characters more so than the monsters. So I thought, yeah, this size of box makes sense for holding all of that. The box did not hold the stretch goals, more monsters, and it did not hold my expansion that has a few extra, like 4 extra heroes. It probably isn't that big. It holds only this. So this is the only game I have that is this size. I believe it's a similar size to Eon Trespass Odyssey and Kingdom Death Monster. I for some reason did not know that it was going to be this. It is this size and it is not even close to complete. All of the unlocked stretch goals are still coming. So this is going to be an issue. But I'm now very excited. I've been very excited to get this. I opened Dungeon Universalis and then this showed up right after. And I've been really excited to open it, do an unboxing, and get this learned and get to playing it because it has been years, folks. It has been like 3 years. Okay, so I'm going to mount this and I'll be back. All right, folks. So here we go. After a very long wait, they delivered. And this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's mind-boggling that this is a first game. I'm so I am so happy to get this, like to receive this. This is one of my most anticipated games, and I can't wait to crack into it and see what they've got in store for us. Because I have the camera so high, I'm going to have a very hard time actually seeing what I'm doing. So please bear with me. Uh, this may be a little bit rough, but hopefully it's of some value. Okay, got my trusty Leatherman, the razor sharp blade that I always call out. Maybe I should put a link to it as much as I talk about this thing. It's got the pliers and the super thin sharp blade. Used to be my everyday carry back when I used to leave the house. I can't say that I wouldn't have bought this if I'd known it was this size. I've been really intrigued with this game since it kickstarted, so I'm sure I would have made it work. But I will say that I'm having to adjust my plans. I don't know how I'm gonna find the shelf space. I honestly don't. It's not. It won't fit in a Kallax. It should fit in my muscle shelves down in the basement. But man, some of those are too deep. I'm gonna have to get rid of some games. But I am only planning to play games that I have a feeling I'm gonna enjoy. Like I have some games that I feel like I'm gonna be able to just get rid of, but I don't really want to learn and play those right now. We'll see what happens. All right, so here we go. Here comes the lid. Oh, this is vacuum tight. Goodness gracious. Okay, there we go. Broke the seal. Some interesting videography there for you. You know, it's the high production values that are the reason that I know that you guys keep coming back. Okay, so here are the minis on the top layer in very bubbly vac form plastic. It's very thick, and I have a feeling, despite my feelings, despite how I don't like vac form, I have a feeling that I'm going to be keeping this vac form. I typically throw it all away, but this seems like a game where it's going to be important to have dedicated places to put these things back. Okay, so I'm gonna make you guys wait. I'm gonna see if I can get this out of here entirely. And we're gonna go through the other components first. That way, maybe you'll stick around to the end. Man, see this plastic's a little bit floppy on the edges. Vac form always seems okay until you take it out of the box. Okay, and there we've got more guys. And the crazy thing is that the stretch goal still had more. Okay. So they taped stuff down so that it wouldn't ship. I don't think I'm not sure I've ever encountered that before. I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Okay, so I'm going to shift the box off to the side so we have a little bit more space to work with. Looks like we have maybe a market or maybe a player board, I'm not sure, and then the foldable battle board, 4 quadrants, which supposedly offers an even more spatially significant puzzle than, say, Steamforge's classic node boards. I do like Steamforge's nodes that let the big minis easily occupy the board at the same time as your standard 28 or 32 millimeter minis. It's reflected so bad. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm seeing markings for like the different types of cards. And it looks like these might actually be monster cards because I think that these are tied to the different, so these are different regions. And you've got like poison, I think, or maybe that's poison, that's crystal, yeah, and ice. And I know that the expansions were based in, were organized around the different regions. Okay, here we have the battle board. I don't very often wish for neoprene, but I kind of wish I'd gone for the neoprene for this. If it's good, if the game is as good as people say, and it gives me that Monster Hunter experience, then maybe I'll get the neoprene board if they manage some expansions. Hopefully it takes less than 3.5 years to get it out. Oh, and then we've got a second battle board on the back. I know there's terrain that goes here. I already have plans of using some of my 3D printed terrain. I've been trying to think of my best boulders, such. Okay, so this stuff was slid to the side, which means that it is warped, which I'm not super happy with. It slid a little bit out of its tray slot right here. Okay, so great sword. So this game is based in Monster Hunter. I think that they decided they wanted to make a very faithful Monster Hunter game. And then Steamforge also decided to make a very faithful Monster Hunter game because they had the actual IP. I think I've said it in numerous videos. I am a big Monster Hunter fan. I haven't been playing it recently. Recently, I've been really obsessed with Doom 1993 and all the mods. But I played Monster Hunter nearly exclusively for years. And so when I saw this great sword, which was one of my mains, that was one of my mains. It still is. I knew I had to get it. I don't know if this is linen finished plastic or if these are just a really tough board. I don't want to like try to fold the edge or something and find out. I'm gonna open up the rule book. Maybe it'll help us identify the various components. Something I don't always do in these videos, and I'm still learning. I haven't done too many of these unboxing videos. And actually, I don't know if I should tell you guys this, but I don't typically watch unboxing videos. So, like, what you are seeing is kind of like what I feel like an unboxing video should be. Just my interpretation of it, fully without any outside influences. You know, like this is all me. Okay, so we've got a very thick rule book, 120 pages. Actually, it's just made with really nice paper. That's not as many pages as I was thinking, judging from the thickness of it. It's also got a lot of really good art and pretty good sized font. I just went through the Dungeon Universalis and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Only like about the same, over 100 pages, but micro font. So small and not nearly broken down, like not with these big sections that take up a lot of space. Okay, and then we have the campaign book here, which I'm not going to flip through too much. Yeah, so this is map of Thyrea. Chapter 1, Part 1. Oh, look at that. You come in on like an airship. It reminds me of the beginning of Monster Hunter 4U, where you come in on that sand ship. Okay. Beautiful art. Man. See, this is, I have to say, what I would prefer from a campaign book. That's too much text, but the rest of these that we've been looking at is more on my level of what I want to see. Okay, so campaign book. Let's take a look. See what the rulebook has to tell us about components. Nothing so far. Describing the monster, describing the hunters. Okay. Yeah, here are the components. So we've got all of the tokens listed. That's interesting. Usually this would be like page one, or right after a like dramatic summary of what goes on in the game. Your starter deck and equipment stuff listed here. So I know that you craft. I mean, it's the Monster Hunter. So you defeat these giant beasts, and then you use their teeth and claws to make yourself weapons, and their like thick, scaly skin to make yourself armor, which is why I haven't played it with my son yet. The carving scenes of Monster Hunter are pretty. This looks just like what, Baroth. Okay, so there's actually not a lot in the way of listed components. We've got the combat board. Sorry if this is just chaotic. I'm looking for the page that I was on before, and I don't remember what it was. Okay, here. I don't even see that map board that we were looking at listed here at all. Here we have the hunter boards. It doesn't say what they are made out of. I think they're plastic, but they've got a linen finish. That's what's confusing me. I'm not going to pick it up on camera. I'll get kicked out of the board game community for that. I don't have. The thing is that I know that this game doesn't take up that much space to play. That's one reason that I like the idea of it, is that 4-quadrant battle board. I think I'll be able to play it very comfortably on my table with 2 characters, if, I mean, obviously, if that's mentally possible. I also, my son has expressed interest in playing this, so I'll probably actually be playing it co-op. Okay, some little cards here. These have a linen finish too. These are numbered, which makes me not want to look through them too much, for thinking that there are like surprises in there. I think these numbers might be like modifiers that you would draw to randomize. Yeah, so Haram gains 1 struggle when revealed. So I think those are some monster cards. These are done just like Monster Hunter, little tribal looking art for each creature. Sorry if you're getting annoyed with me talking about Monster Hunter when this is not Monster Hunter, but it is why I purchased the game. I did not play Monster Hunter on the PlayStation 2. I mean, almost nobody did. I did not play it on the PSP, which is when I think it got more popular, especially in Japan, when people would go to cafes and play. But I got in with Monster Hunter 3U and played that, and actually one of the few people who enjoyed the underwater combat. I played 4U. Okay, so here we have some player aids with player references for the different um, playable characters and a round structure. And these look like, I bet this is Sword and Shield. Yeah, so this is Hammer. So each of these is supposed to play very differently. Gosh, these are such nice cards. Like, they feel so good in your hand like that. I love that linen finish. Bow. The great sword. I love the Great Sword. My brother's like, how can you play with that? It's so slow. I'm like, that's what I like. I like about dedicating to the decision. And that's what I understand this game is like. Like you dedicate to your choice, you know? Okay, I don't want to look at too many of these and spoil them for myself either. So just gonna go ahead and I think a lot of the fun in Monster Hunter is discovering the gear. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside for now. So these are some sort of tracks. I don't know if it's a settlement because you've got these look like stores, and I'm guessing that they level up as you campaign along. Be my guess. Which is why I'm using a high rising terminal to turn that statement into a question. Something that I feel like I need to not do so much. Once again, the materials are so nice. So herbalism 1, 2, 3. Fire Forge. So this is where you can create your flame weapons apparently. Horn Forge, Crystal Forge. They're double-sided, but some of them looks like they have the same information. Yeah, same information on either side. Okay. This stuff usually ends up making sense. This is such an impressive production from first-time game makers. I know they struggled, and there was a lot of learning that went on. They caught a lot of flack in the comments on the Kickstarter, but they kept just trying to do it the absolute best that they could. And at this point, I think that once it gets into your hands, you're just very happy about that, right? Before that happens, maybe you're like, gosh, I wish you guys could just cut some corners. But once it's in your hands and you've already done the waiting, okay, here we have the campaign sheet. So you got your trophies from all the different monsters. I'm not going to have some of them because I did not get an all in. I did not get all the expansions. Got the forge with level 1, 2, and 3 of your different forge types. Campaign chapters, quests, achievements. Nice big pad of that, but I'll print those off if it's at all possible, and if it's not, I will scan it and print it off, and it will be possible one way or another. Okay, so here is the terrain that I plan on trying to mostly replace. Okay, so we got some sand dunes and a boulder, and a different type of boulder. It looks like some plants. I know that you hide behind bushes. Fire, I'm guessing that comes from the monsters. Ice, fog, I think. And then you've got your tokens. It's got that Monster Hunter style, tribal style. Damage tokens, I don't use these very often. I usually either use poker chips or dice for that. But I've got a big old bag of just a ton of damage tokens from different games. Probably going to be adding the damage tokens from Dungeon Universalis to that bag here soon. Okay, so this cardboard is very thick. I'm sure you can't see it, but it's very, very high quality cardboard. Probably close to on par with Games Workshop cardboard. That kind of has the cardboard that I feel like sets the bar for all comparisons. Okay, let's go down another level. Oh, I could have taken this out and denied you guys this right here, which I'm going to do. Because I'm just mean-spirited. Oh, that's nice. Some reinforcement tape in the bottom of the box. You can really make that out, yeah. The problem with these giant boxes is that it's the tape that holds them together that is the point that gives up. So no matter how thick and sturdy you make the box, you don't do something about that, it can give out. I cannot. This is taped down. Look, it's even got branding. Stack of baggies. Got a big old collection of those. I'm sure that you all probably do too. Organizers, which is, this is very functional. It makes me think I'm going to leave this in here even though it doesn't tightly fit. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to get this game learned and played, although I was not expecting a 100-page rulebook. I knew it was a deep game, but great sword, bow, hammer, gun. Okay, and then you've got all the monsters. And that one's from the, I don't think that one's in the base game expansions. I think that now we're getting into the ones that I will not have. I'm guessing with the reception that this is getting that there's gonna do a reprint. It's always good to wait for the reprints. Well, I say always. Sometimes it makes you miss games, but you gotta weigh that out for yourself. Do not open until instructed, so I won't be opening that for you guys. Sorry, incomplete unboxing. Okay, so then we have the dividers for that little guy right there. Helm, armor, item, reward, potion. Okay, so those are all the different types of cards. A little bit of sorting room is nice, but maybe it's also room for if you sleeve. I don't typically sleeve unless there's unless there's multiple shuffling rounds done within a game, and then I'll sleeve those cards specifically. Like if the player cards get shuffled over and over, then I will sleeve them. But I don't typically buy them during the campaign because unless it's a special sized card, I've got plenty of. Okay, don't need to show you all these. Yeah, so this is like your monster AI. There's the wolf. One thing I like about this is that it does have the different types. Like they've got the crab and they've got the wolf, and that's it. In Monster Hunter you have that, but in Monster Hunter World they really focused only on the dinosaurs, and the board games are made off of Monster Hunter World, so all it has are the dragons, the saurians, I guess. Has some cards for your different classes. A lot of very nice feeling and looking cards. Poisonous dude. Yeah, so that's one strike against Monster Hunter. I did not get the original. I am getting Iceborne, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But I actually didn't play that much World. I think I played maybe 100 hours of it, and I put way more hours than that into 3U and 4U. And I have Rise, but I actually haven't played it a ton. Okay, so these look like the cards for your players that came in the box. I don't know why I would have well, I guess I would have separators. Maybe they included the separators in the main game for monsters that you don't have, in order to entice you to get them, to let it look like your collections, give you a visual reminder that you are not a completionist. I'm actually not a completionist though, so I go for what seems like the most value, and I figure if it's really a good game, I can get it with the next expansion launch, whatever gets kickstarted, or if it hits stores. This thing is so gigantic, I can't imagine it going to stores. I know that they were thinking of it. So hammer, and all of these different moves is why I've heard that the value is in the weapons. I've only heard one person say that he thought that the value was more in the monsters. I believe that Alex over at Board Game Co. though thought that it was in the characters, which got me to buy the extra. I like having extra playable variable characters a lot. In, like, say, Marvel Champions, I actually got like 30 scenarios, 29 scenarios, but I kind of feel like that's almost enough. Here's the deck for the bow. I don't know if you guys want to see all that. I should flip this over. Okay, so yeah, so what is up? What is up? These are dual swords. These are dual blades, I'm pretty sure, which is not someone that you have. Maybe that's sword and shield. Maybe I'm being paranoid. I'm thinking that's sword and shield, but let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at these. Look, there are two swords in this. I don't know. And it looks like he's using a great sword, not a sword and shield, or dual swords. I love the art on this. It's stylized and so interesting. It's just really cool how they made it look kind of like the standard Monster Hunter icon art. Like they translated the style over. Beautiful. The physical presentation of the game is something that really drew me in, got me to spend big bucks on this. Would I do it again? Yes, but for another game, for most other games, I would wait for a second printing. Legend, Knockout. See, the hammer is a lot of fun to play with. I used to play with it actually a lot in Monster Hunter 3. Perseverance, Dashing Blow, Rumbling Impact, Confuse the monster, increase the damage this attack deals by 1 hammer for each exposed monster side. That's what I'm going to be committing as monster side. Should keep all these in order. Okay, so that dual blade means nothing, because this is definitely the bow deck. Lightning Escape, Graceful Defense, Swift Deflection, Arrow Snatch, Waiting Game. Okay. Beautiful stuff. Sorry that I'm having to keep stuff out of the frame, but I'm like literally having to lean way over into my table because the camera is so high that it can't get out far enough in front of me. My lower back is going to be sore after this. I'm leaning way out. If I bump the table, everything shakes, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't. Okay, so here we're getting into some monster cards, which means I may not go through all these. Maybe I will. It's not like, I mean, even if I had I'd have to have like a photographic memory to really spoil anything from reading the names of the monster moves, remembering who they go to. And not only don't I have a photographic memory, I don't have a very good memory at all. Look at the back. So yeah, these are the icons. And then Taruga. And I cannot see the glare, you guys, so I apologize if sometimes it hits the glare. Okay, let's take a look at what these have to offer. Rise of the Storm, the Awakened, increase the storm level by 1. Earthquake, the Awakened. Well, I guess they are all the Awakened. Cataclysm, Straighten the Heart. Blazing Assault, Crashing Charge. So these don't have art. Massive Stomp. It's always nice to have some art on the cards, but they do have the icons on them. So Drain, Storm's Wrath. Oh, I think this is for the big boy. Yeah, he seems to have more cards than some of these. Rampaging Horns. Aggressive Posture. Gains 1 struggle. Indomitable Charge. Each player in the front sector suffers a wound unless they, looks like, reveal some stuff in their hands. Hammer Tail. Rumbling Stomp. Metal Skin. And I'm glad that in this game, unlike in, say, Dark Souls, there doesn't seem to be any emphasis on trying to memorize. Like, you want to know, you want to learn the enemy deck. I'm sure that comes in useful, but you're not trying to memorize like the order that it's in, you know. Quick Attack, Barrage. Okay, that's enough of the monster attacks. I don't think we need to go through every card, especially because my back's getting tired. You guys just waiting for when I jam that knife into my hand at some point? Shield of Support. Some more hammer cards. And here's the Sword and Shield cards. Let's take a look at those. I find the player character cards interesting because they have art on them. These are some more of the hammer, but here we go. Shield Master. Dealing damage or increasing the amount of damage, depending on, looks like the values, colors of the cards that you play. Unbreakable. Shield of Support. See, I've heard that the way that the players like play back and forth adds a lot to the game. So I'm very excited to, I'm hoping that I can play it two-handed. There aren't very many games that I can't play two-handed. Then be able to play with my son also. Even though that involves a lot of quarterbacking, especially if this is a complex game. Monstrous Effort, Agility, Perseverance, Feint. So these colors, I think, represent different aspects, and then you can use those when they're called out for to get to be able to play something specific and get an effect off of it. Here's some more just of these monster cards. Digerax, Tail Strike, Tormat, Tail Swipe, Ancient Fury. Okay, we're not going to go through these. We will, though, look at the monsters themselves. So don't be too sad. Okay, so let's look at these smaller cards. Oh, these are square. So I say they look really wide to be small cards, not not like mini board game style cards at all. But yeah, it turns out it's because they're squares. And it looks like these are some items. Here we have the Crystal Helm, Thunder Helm, level 2, Crystal Helm, level 3. So you get these, the Iron Helm, you get these for the different types of monsters of the type that they are. Fire, Waltier, I don't know, I'm guessing on that one. Lava Buckler. He's got have a nice little skeletal spear. Nice little art on all of them. Big Jaws. When the monster turns to your sector, you may exhaust this card to deal 2 damage. So traps, just like Monster Hunter has traps. Coral Trident. Gauntlet of Shellblade. Got all these different levels, and it looks like enough for like everybody if they want. Crystal Spear. Shimmering Boots. So it looks like these are kind of generic items. For use across all the classes. Okay, so these are consumables. Search for a card of your choice and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Same for that. Suffer damage equal to your weapon level and draw 2. So it looks like you take some damage in order to get more resources. Suffer damage equal to your weapon level. Your weapon gets +3 damage until the end of this round. So it seems like these buffs cost you a lot. Suffer damage equal to your weapon level. Your weapon gets +9 damage till the end of the round. Gain a defense token. Skip the attrition phase this round. I remember hearing about the attrition phase, but I can't remember what it's about. Ancient Armor, Ancient Helm, Celestial Armor, Celestial Helm. Like, where am I going to keep this box while I'm playing the game? If I'm leaving everything in it, I'm going to have to leave it close to hand, you know? Geez, I hadn't considered that. That's one strike against leaving everything in the vac form, but I still feel like I'm probably going to do that. And lots of helms. And then armor. Base armor is probably your starter gear. Red scale armor. Spined armor. Reef bound plate. Crystal armor. And it's got each level. They have, oh, and they've got different art. I didn't notice that. So level 1, level 2, it starts getting this little crest of gems or crystals. Let's see, and then level 3 gets a very fancy red scale armor. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Whoa! I love the aesthetic of using the animals, the monsters. Even these helms get more elaborate. Look at that. Very nice. One cool thing about this game with these giant, unnecessarily large minis is that I do have some games like Doom, Apocalyptic, the post-apocalyptic hunting game, where I plan on using these and my bosses from Dark Souls and some 3D big minis some maxi minis that I 3D printed, and get all those used in some other games, so that they're not just sitting around waiting for me to play their one specific game. Electric whip, electric dagger. So these are apparently weapons that you can have besides your main. Iron greaves, they don't change image. Explosive, another trap, I guess, or maybe check that. Healing potion. Okay, so you know what that leaves. The minis. Set this off to the side. Okay, we'll start with these guys first. Oh, that goes all the way down. I guess that's the more secure, but it is going to make it hard to take this out of the box without pulling everything else out too. Okay. It's got like a stone texture to it. That's the quadrants on the base, and the base has stuff on it. The quadrants have always been on the Steamforged games, node-based games, but their bases have been plain in Dark Souls and in Monster Hunter in the original, but they are adding texture to it, to their bases. That guy's a beaut. Wolf. He's got a tail like that one Japanese mythological fox, though. Love this crab. Hermitor is the name of the crab in Monster Hunter, I believe. Look at that. Got coral growing on him. There. Nice detail. I don't know a ton about minis, so I can't tell you if these are the best minis, but I like them. This is the first I'm seeing them for the first time now, too. This guy looks mobile. Looks mobile and dangerous. He's giving you a little backwards glance over his shoulder. Saucy little look. And this fits a specific way. There we go. Okay, now the main batch. Pounds of plastic, guys. Pounds of plastic here. Okay, and we are back. Hope you enjoyed whatever I did with that footage. Beetle. See, this is fun. I like having the non-dragon, non-dinosaur, non-reptilian bad guys. I really need to pay attention to the orientation of these guys when they... That guy has a freaky looking face. This guy's head is just basically a hammer. We have Mr. X-Wing here. Nice texture, but not too much texture. Not overly busy, in my opinion. My inexpert opinion, which is what I always stress. It's right there on the title screen of my channel, if you ever wonder. A horror writer and his unqualified opinions, or on something like that. Make it clear, I don't particularly know anything. This is a nice monster here. He looks like a baby version of this guy. I wonder if he is a baby version of the big boss just because of the shape of his horns. Maybe not, though. This guy looks like Godzilla. Very cool. Covered in crystals. He's a thick one. Unicorn. Monster hunting style. Primal the Awakening style. And I think this guy is maybe one of the first face. I think that this is the one that was maybe sent out for the preview. Like a kind of a bat dinosaur. He's a reptile, but I think he's supposed to be pretty bat-like. Okay, and here we go. We're going to look at the big boy, and then we're going to look at the player characters. And then we're going to be done. Wow. I do not own another mini even close to this size. And calling this a mini feels pretty preposterous. It's a pretty sizable seams there. Doesn't bother me none, but that guy. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at our heroes. I love the... Okay, so let's just look at the proportions. Let's take a look at them versus one of the more normal sized monsters. Here's our great swordsman. He's going to be facing off against this bad boy. That's a good contrast in size. That's what I love in Monster Hunter, is that you step in there with these giant beasts who think they can just push you around, and you come in there with a sword as big as you are, ready to cause a ruckus. I have positioned this so that I can't see if it's focusing very well. This is your great sword user. He's got like a batwing cape. Like, that's so awesome. That's just so cool. You have your sword and shield user who looks like he's got like the head of a lion. for his helmet. That's what's funny. It's like, oh no, that's not decorative armor that's made to look like the head of a lion. It's actually he's actually wearing the head of a lion. Bow. Really like these. Your hammer. I think that guy's pose could be a little bit more action packed. Everybody else's got some action going on, but you know the great sword wielder in Monster Hunter Iceborne, it has a very stoic, unactiony pose, not like this guy. I might use this guy when I'm playing Monster Hunter World. Great sword, using great sword as my main. My other main in Monster Hunter is the Charge Blade, which my brother described as needing a PhD to be able to play. PhD in Charge Blade. Okay, well, folks, that that is it. So I'm gonna say goodbye now because so far this video is looking like it's over an hour long. Maybe I'll cut some stuff out. Anyway, I hope that this was useful for you. It was useful for me because I needed to get the game out of the box. So that's a win. I hope you have a great rest of your day and keep playing solo.